Hey everybody, Trevor Huntsinger here with the Anderson Hicks Group, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down with Stockton Peterson. Stockton's an agent on our team, and why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Stockton Peterson. I'm originally from Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, moved here in 2022 with my wife after we had our first boy, Beckham. Um, and yeah, married and have two now. I have two boys, Beckham and Cash. One will be 2 next month, and the other one will be 4 next month. They are absolutely insane. But my wife's a saint and takes good care of them and allows me to come and play real estate.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's a party.
moved to Idaho in 2022.
Yep,
Born and raised in Phoenix area.
yep.
So straight from Phoenix to Idaho.
No, I served a church mission for 2 years in Atlanta, Georgia. That's where my wife and I met, actually. She was a missionary there as well. And she's from here. That's why we live here. So she came here, finished her student teaching. She has an elementary education degree from Utah State. So when we got married, we actually lived in Logan. We lived in northern Utah for about a year and a half. And then we had Beckham, and she had to finish her student teaching. And so my mother-in-law kind of helped while I could work. She watched Beckham while Courtney, my wife, did her student teaching. So that was kind of one of the bigger draws to come here. And obviously, she's born and raised here, loves it here, and so yeah, it's been a good place to be. But yeah, I kind of jumped around a bit. Came home from my mission, lived in St. George for a little while, and then we got married, lived in Logan, and now live here. So
Sweet.
yeah,
So after your mission, um, straight into real estate.
no, I kind of jumped around. Kind of always knew I've always had passion about like houses or real estate just in general. I worked for a large smart home company in St. George for a while, doing TV, speakers, security, all that kind of stuff, which was a ton of fun. I absolutely love that kind of stuff. And then did that. And then when we got married and moved to Logan, I actually got certified as a home inspector for a short time. Didn't love that very much. Didn't really work out. So I kind of jumped around a little bit there, and Logan had some connections, was a framer for a little while, worked for a property manager kind of at the same time, but basically everything I've ever done has all been kind of under the umbrella of real estate. And I always kind of get angry or mad at myself, like, man, I should have come home from my mission, or right when we got married, I should have gone to real estate school and got my license. And, hindsight's always 2020, but everything that I've done kind of leading up to where I am now has been, super, yeah, super helpful. Obviously, being a home inspector, we deal with those, in real estate deals all the time. So it's kind of one nice thing is as I'm walking through houses, I'll kind of point out things. Hey, you might see this. Hey, you might see that. Just kind of having that knowledge is pretty valuable most of the time, especially for first time home buyers that aren't going to notice those kinds of things. And so yeah, framing again. Yeah, just a lot of it's just the property management stuff, working with investors and all that stuff. It all kind of led up, and then actually joined the team right when we first moved here in 2022, and was
Interviewed before you'd even moved here.
yeah, I did. It's true. Yeah, I did interview. I think I like walked off the framing job site to answer phone calls from Chris, and yeah, went really super good with the interviews and everything, obviously, and yeah, I got hired as an inside sales agent. So basically like a real estate agent without, some of them are licensed, but without being licensed, without showing houses and writing contracts. You're answering phone calls, you're following up with people, you're texting people, you're, getting people from, hey, we're not really looking to, yeah, we're ready to buy. But instead of, now if someone says that to me, I'm going to say, all right, great, let's go look at some houses, let's get something going. And before, as an ISA, an inside sales agent, you would send them off to an agent, set that appointment, and yeah, let the agent take it from there and go set more and all that stuff. So that's kind of another thing. Obviously, that's involved in the same team and all that stuff. But again, just, I mean, completely invaluable.
Yeah.
I talk to people, I get people not super often, but they ask me, hey, I want to get into real estate. What do you do? And ISAs are kind of a lost art. There's not a ton of them around as much, at least in this area anymore. But that was a extremely invaluable. I mean, when I first was interviewing, I was like, dude, I want to be an agent. I want to just give me the keys. Let's go. And yeah, HD was kind of like, whoa, like calm down. Let's, maybe you should come here first and see this and make sure you like it and all that stuff. And I did that for 8 months and did it while I was getting licensed and learned how to talk to people and learned how to get them to the appointments. And then, yeah, took my test. HD said, yeah, we like you. We'd like you to stay. And, yeah, so I moved offices and hit the ground running, and already knew how to talk to people. Instead of setting appointments for other people, I was setting appointments for myself. So
Yep.
yeah,
And,
super, super, super valuable.
and you had, how many days was it after you became an agent on a team that you had your first accepted contract?
Accepted was like 6 or 7 days. Wrote my first offer the first day,
Yeah.
which was crazy. And a big part of that was, I mean, phone calls obviously is the biggest part, but being an ISA on the same team, coming over to be an agent, I could keep my leads that I had in my database, and called one of them that day, obviously, and said, "Hey, instead of bugging you about selling your property," it was an investor out of Southern Utah. "Instead of bugging you about selling your property in up here in East Idaho, why don't we get you another one?" He goes, "Oh, okay. Well, let's find you a deal, or give me a deal. Like, what do you got going on?" I'm like, "Oh, So I'm pulling up Zillow, I'm pulling up all this stuff, and found a duplex in Blackfoot, and kind of told him, gave him the breakdown and all that stuff, and he goes, "Sounds great. Why don't you write me a cash offer at this amount?" And I'm like, okay, sounds good. And, got off the phone with him, fake it till you make it, Nicole went into the success team and said, so how do I write an offer? And, obviously I'd been taught that in school, but man, it's like when you go to high school and taxes and all that stuff, they don't teach you the real stuff sometimes.
Nope.
So you got to kind of learn by fire. But luckily with HG, we have this success team. And so, yeah, wrote an offer. We were a backup offer for 4 or 5 days, and the original buyer backed out, and we moved in. So, yeah, I kind of hit again ISA. I mean, that opened the door for me to just
Yep.
to hit the ground and go from there. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
7 days.
7 days. Yeah, I
I
don't tell people that often because it's like it's not skewed, but it is kind of like, oh well, you had this leg up and you had or whatever. But I mean, it was nice because I'm not from here. Like my wife's family's all from here, so I have sphere of influence here. Obviously, that's a big thing when you first become an agent is work
Yeah.
your sphere, especially early on, especially if you're solo. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really have that, or maybe it's not as much as other people, and so to get here and be able to, um, yeah, be an ISA, and I've said this 10 times, but be an ISA first and have some leads, have some people in my database that when I became an agent, I could keep working. And it just happened that one of them was like, yeah, let's do it. It's funny. I've sold those people 2 or 3. They have an offer on something right now, those same investors. And I just told them like a month and a half ago, they were my first deal. They never knew. So it's kind of weird. You don't want to tell
Yeah.
people that, or whatever, but anyways, so kind of cool. Yeah.
So you
Worked out.
those the investor that you put your first deal together with,
Yeah.
you're still in contact with.
Yeah. Yeah. I've sold them. We've been under contract on a few have fallen through, but I guess I've only closed them 2, but they have an offer in on something right now.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. Yeah, it's hey, we're always looking for a good deal if you got something that comes through. And so yeah, if I see something interesting, I send it to them. They're probably annoyed of me, but every now and then I'll send them 4 or 5, a month maybe. Anything that's new that pops up, I'll send them all the bedroom, bathroom counts, stats, rents, current rents, all that stuff. Maybe some comps, and half the time they'll not even reply, which is fine with me because I know how they work. And other time they'll say, yeah, we like it. This is our offer, and we write it. So building those relationships and obviously, keeping in contact with your past clients is huge. So
Yeah. And that's probably the biggest thing you learned of being an ISA was the follow-up game.
Yeah.
And staying top of mind
yeah,
is so critical and is why you're still so successful.
yeah. Which it's kind of a weird thing with ISAs because you're the first contact a lot of times that somebody has. And so I'm a pretty personable guy. I don't like sitting in front of cameras and talking to cameras, but I'm talking to you, just being filmed. But anyways, is I'm a personable guy, so I get to talking to them, on the phone and stuff like that. And then they're like, they may or may not like me, I guess. But anyways, we're talking and whatever. And then they're like, wait, I'm not working with you. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna hand you off to Riley or Steve or somebody. And anyways, and so it's kind of a weird thing, but yeah, like being able to make those connections now and being the person that, yes, you are going to be working with me. It's me. It's as long as you like me and I like you, let's do something. So yeah.
That's awesome. Working back a little bit. So born and raised in Phoenix.
Yep.
Served a mission.
Yep.
Atlanta.
Yep.
Went to St. George. Did some home security, accessorizing homes.
Yeah.
Then you also framed homes.
Yep.
In Logan. And then jumped into real estate.
Only the winter months. It was 6 months, and it was from like October to
So the best time
March.
To be a framer.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that's where you learn grit,
Yeah,
right?
it was great. I worked for a GC. Like he had his own framing crew, so that was another like super invaluable thing. Is it wasn't just, hey, we're going from this house to this house to this house. We were kind of a smaller crew. And so like we'd spend, we built a couple pretty big ones, and they'd take, 6 to 10 weeks for us to frame them up. But it
Yeah.
was the GC that was GCing the whole house. And so there was times where we do trim and we do windows and we do Tyvek and we do all kinds of stuff like with him. And so like it was more than just framing, which again is super invaluable. I know how to do a lot of that stuff now because of that. So, but yeah.
Cool. So landed in Idaho, became an inside sales agent, became a real estate agent you started in the agent role in June
of 23.
Okay, so you've been about
for
almost 3 years
in real
of
estate.
licensed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of license. Yes. June this year will be my third. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you do a pretty decent amount. I mean, you're averaging 25 families that you're helping per year.
Yeah. Last 2 years, full years. Yeah. 23 and then 25. Yeah.
Nice work.
So yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it. It's real estate's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's times of the year, especially here where we live, where it's cold and a lot of people kind of shut down. It gets slow. I think that it's people that are passionate about real estate that are able to make it through those times when maybe rates are high or it's 3 feet of snow out front or or whatever. It's the people that really enjoy their job and enjoy helping people and enjoy the ins and outs of real estate, the good and the bad. They're the ones that stick it out and say, you know what, I'm gonna stay here even though it kind of stinks right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it going and see if I can't bring it back up when it gets picks back up in March or whatever. So
totally gonna go off track here for a second. So
typical.
Yep, typical. So you are, and most people don't know this, so sorry, I have to disclose a secret. But I didn't know when you joined the team that I was going to be working with a primetime celebrity.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh,
and now, multiple times during the week, my kids get to see you in primetime.
Yep.
So tell me how Stockton Peterson ended up being...
my name's not on it. I think that'd be a problem, but my face is on it.
How you ended up being in one of the opening credits for America's Funniest Videos.
Yeah. So when my wife and I were dating, she was going to school at Utah State. So she lived in Logan. I lived in St. George. And this was, I think it was pretty early on in our day. We had a relationship, of some sorts, obviously, as friends and stuff when we were on the mission. Anyways, we came home and we started dating. And anyway, so she came down to St. George to visit me. We went and hiked up a mountain in southern Utah, and I brought my drone with me. And I wanted to do a cool shot where it was an old drone. It was a DJI Phantom. So the thing's ginormous. I mean, they're like that tall, that big. I mean, they're huge, 4 spinning blades. And I wanted to do a shot where it's way out away from us and it comes in full speed right above us, 4 or 5 feet above us or something. But I didn't get my height quite right, my altitude. And I crashed it full speed straight into her and I, and it's all on video. And I don't know when it was, 21, 22, somewhere in there. We decided to send it to AFV, and apparently it gets. I don't see it that often, but I always get it from you when you take a video of it. And anyways, it seems to be one of their videos that they like to post around or anything. I didn't win 10 grand off it though.
You did get a t-shirt.
I got a t-shirt.
Though.
Yeah, that's true.
I should have, if I was thinking,
I should have wore it.
I should have had you wear it today.
I have it. Yeah, no, I should have brought it. But yeah, luckily we were both fine, and she still married me. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
you're not a pilot. Otherwise, she probably wouldn't have.
Yeah, no. She understood what she was getting into, I think. Yeah. So.
All right. So. Get back on track. Yeah. So, in real estate, been with our team since October of 2022.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And been an agent now for about 3 years.
Yep.
You've got a lot of experience under your belt. Not only do you help people buy and sell real estate, but you yourself also are involved in some property management. So you, because of your background, you get to work in multiple areas within the industry that kind of keeps it interesting for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy obviously the buying and selling. That's what I'm passionate about. I mean, just real estate as a whole. And but like I've said in the beginning, like real estate's such a big umbrella that, I've dabbled and gotten into yeah, several different facets, I guess, of real estate. And being an agent, what's nice is, if you are managing some properties or you're talking to sellers, talking to buyers, whatever, like you're always gonna get little things like, hey, we're looking to buy an investment property. Okay, cool. Well, let me manage it for you. Or, hey, I'm a tenant of yours. I want to buy a house. Oh, cool. When I'm an agent, what I mean, as long as the relationship's good there, like there's, it just kind of compounds all around. Same with like talking to a seller. Hey, I want to sell this house. It needs some work, or something. And so it's, oh, well, maybe there's, an opportunity there too. So yeah, but it all kind of starts from being an agent and having your name out there and talking to people and phone calls and all that stuff. That kind of stuff kind of tends to just
Yeah.
happen. Yeah. A lot of agents will just take that kind of stuff and maybe they have some investors and which is just fine. They have some, hey, I don't manage, so they have connections, or I don't flip and so they have connections. They can, at the end of the day they can get the people where they need to be. But with the kind of stuff that I do and what I'm into, it's nice being an agent because, a lot of times those opportunities more or less just kind of fall in my lap. So yeah, it's a party. There's
Always
always
something.
something, always a project,
You
always
always come
something
and tell
going
me
on.
your stories.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Got to tell Trevor the good ones.
The good ones come in. So, the last thing I just wanted to touch on today is that you have been with the team for 3 years,
hmm
and you obviously have a wife, 2 kids, um,
Crazy kids,
one crazy kids.
crazy boys.
Your boys are awesome.
They're crazy.
Uh, we didn't even get a chance to talk on this, but you're like a title holder in
Oh
motorcycle
please,
racing, and
no.
I could.
I'm retired. I'm
You're
retired.
retired. You're
Yeah, I'm
retired.
retired.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, you've been in the industry. You've been on the team for 3 years now. Um, what is it that allows you to continue to be successful with the team? We see so many different people that um, are on teams or are solo agents, and you continue to push forward. You continue to work with more and more people every single year. You continue to look at other endeavors and diversify what you are doing in the industry. What does the team do for you?
Um. Yeah, what I personally like about AHG that maybe like some others, even others that have like been on our team and left our team or whatever, what I personally really like is like they hound the basics. Like they don't it's not some I mean obviously the like the industry is always growing, AI, there's all this stuff that just keeps kind of coming in and coming, whatever. And that's always going to happen, but at the end of the day, they're always like you got to make this many phone calls. You have to do the open houses. You got to have this many conversations. If you make this many phone calls, you're going to have this many conversations. Being a big team, we have a large pond of leads. I mean, I pulled a guy out of our lead pond 2 weeks ago and he's got 2 offers on something right now. Like just out of the blue. And the only way I would have done that is making phone calls. And, I'm not in front of the camera kind of guy, social media kind of guy. So I have to really kind of hit home with the traditional stuff that just might be boring compared to like social media, but it works.
Yeah.
And being on such a big team, it just provides so much value as far as like my very first day. Hey, I want to write this offer. I would have figured it out probably, but I could go into Nicole and Janelle and any other agent on the team, and they would have helped me all day long, which is just gold. And so I don't know. There's so many things I could just name over and over again that the AHG provides for agents, whether you're brand new or veteran. If you're brand new, they give you a pathway to, hey, make this many calls and this is what it takes to do this. Look, this person did that. They have examples on the team that have done that. Or hey, if you're into YouTube, do that. If you're into the social media, do that. Like it works. But and then being able to yeah, I think, like I said, the biggest thing I think for me is the fundamentals, is just sticking to the things that I personally that work for me, that I know that work. And that's, like I said, making phone calls, talking to as many people as possible, and getting my name and getting my face out there. And the business just, if I do that every single day, business just kind of tends to come. for some reason. So
Yeah. Yeah, and you are one that, like, your clients don't even see all that you do behind the scenes, because and I get to see it on our
probably too
systems and
much of it.
everything
Yeah.
where no, it's not too much. But I get to see it because so many clients, they partner with an agent and they are interested in a home, and they will set them up on listing alerts, or they will occasionally email them or send them something on social media that may interest them. But you actively go in and make hundreds of dials a week looking for opportunities for either your sellers or for your buyers. You're not just a sit around and wait kind of guy.
Yeah.
And so that's super advantageous
Yeah.
for someone that's working for you, because you're not the typical wait and
Yeah,
have
we'll
something
wait
come to
when
you.
something comes around. Like I had someone I was talking to last week that was like, "Hey, it's a property that we have listed. Hey, I don't really like that one, but there's ones just to the east of it that I like." And so I found the owner's name, found their phone number, found their information, called them, and said, "Hey, I've got some buyers that might be interested in your properties. Would you be interested in selling them?"
And they
Like,
weren't even listed.
not at all. No, no, not at all. And they were like, "Yeah, I mean, we don't, but if they gave us X amount, the make me sell
Yeah.
price, which if that's their price, at least they gave you a number." Half the
Yep.
people just say, "No, get away from me. I don't want to talk to you," and that's fine. It's understandable. I'm sure. Depending on the type of property, they probably get text calls, emails, all that stuff all
Yeah.
the time about, "Hey, do you want to sell your house? Hey, do you want to sell your house?" And anyways, and so yeah, the people went and toured it, and it's they didn't write an offer, right then or whatever, but yeah, it is creating those opportunities. Hey, I'm looking for this, and oh, I don't know of any right now. And a lot of agents would just, it's the same with the conversations that you have with people on the phone. It's like, I was talking to somebody about this just today. Like, a lot of other agents, maybe if someone call or they reach out to somebody, you're more or less, you're kind of bugging that person.
Yeah.
Like, you're the reason they're on the phone with you. It's not because they called you. Obviously, if they call you, that's great. You're having a great conversation with all that stuff. And so I've started to get good at, where maybe some other agents would talk to somebody and they'd, say, "Yeah, we're not really looking." Maybe they own a house, let's say they own a house. We're not really looking. We lived in our house for, 3 or 4 years. It's, it meets our needs, or whatever, something like that. "Oh, okay, cool. Well, let me know when you do. Let me know when you do want to buy or sell or do something, or rent it or invest or whatever you want to do." And, maybe they text them their number, and that's it. And I've started, or I have just gotten better at, okay, well, okay, you've been there for 3 or 4 years, probably have some good equity. Like, do you have any idea, like, what your home is worth? "Oh, no, not really." And taking that conversation further, or, "Yeah, we're not really looking to buy right now." "Okay, well, if you were, what would you look for?" And sometimes people are like, you can tell, okay, I don't want to go any further with you.
Mhm.
And I respect that. I'm not a digger that just digs forever
Yep.
and until somebody gets mad at me. Right. But,
Right.
but getting to the point where they're like, "Yeah, actually, if we did sell, we'd want X price," and maybe their price is market. Like, maybe
Yeah.
that's close. "Oh, well, cool. That's actually what I was thinking." Or, "Hey, yeah, if we did buy, it would have to be this." And bam, 10 minutes ago, there was a house that listed that meets all those criteria, right? Or something like that. So it's about, it sounds manipulative, but it's about having a great conversation with
Mm.
somebody. And sometimes I'll have 45-minute hour long phone calls with somebody who's never going to buy a house again in their
Yeah.
life, probably, or it says that, right?
Yep.
But I had a good conversation with them, and so maybe down the road I'll get a referral. But the
Yep.
only way to know is to have good conversations with people and do it over and over and over again. It sounds boring, but it works.
Yep.
So, it's boring till the commission check hits.
Yep.
So it's like, you can't, it's kind of hard to argue with.
Yeah.
So works for me.
It does work.
Yeah.
It works for me too.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah. So
That's good.
well, thank you, Stockton. And for those of you who didn't know Stockton and have a need to buy or sell, or just have questions in real estate, hopefully you got to know him a little bit better today, and that he could be your next agent to help you buy or sell a home. And so if you are in the market to buy or sell, reach out to Stockton, reach out to the Anderson Hicks Group, and we'd be happy to help you. Thanks, everyone.